Welcome today. So today we are going to be talking about mental mastery. So what is mental mastery? It is essentially gaining control of your own mind. Now, if you experience any emotions that you don't like, if you experience, really any thoughts that come into your head throughout a day that cause you to be in a lower vibe, then this is something that can help you stay in alignment with the divine. So think about your thoughts that you have throughout a day, and just imagine that you start out at 100%. So if you start out at 100%, right? Every day, fresh new day. Actually, every moment, fresh new moment. You can choose every moment to not do things the way you used to do them. So let's imagine you wake up in the morning, you're at 100%. You're 100% of your energy. Why? Because you haven't done anything and you haven't thought about anything yet. So the best way that you can start your day is by going over your day and putting a blueprint of what exactly it is that you want in that day. So this is not like, necessarily particular things that you're wanting to accomplish or do, but this is a state of being that you want to accomplish, feeling throughout the day. So when you wake up in the morning, you can, you're at 100%. You haven't done anything that would take away from the divine's presence, or, noticing the divine's presence in your life. Now, what happens? You get out of bed, and pretty soon you start thinking, oh, I got to go to here and I got to go do this. And then you think about this person, and then maybe a negative thought comes in, and then you do this and then you do that. And at what point have you introduced a lower vibrational frequency? How many minutes did it take into your day before you got out of that perfect alignment? Because when you go to sleep at night, there's no resistance. There's none at all. So you have, hopefully, 8 hours. I got 12 this weekend, one night. That was spectacular. Just had to throw that out there. I shocked myself, but it was amazing. Anyways, you get this 8 hours-ish of alignment when you're sleeping, right? Because you're not putting out any resistance, anything. This is, we've talked about this before. You get a cut on your arm. It heals itself without any help from you. The only thing that could impede your cut from healing would be your own mind, your own mental clutter getting in the way and saying something like, ooh, I don't know if that's going to heal. Oh, I bet it's going to leave a scar. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is that you're imbuing into that cut that you have is what is going to happen to it. You've impeded it. But if you just leave it alone and you don't even think about it, it's going to heal perfectly. You're going to get brand new skin. You're never even going to know that it was there, once it heals up. You wouldn't even know. So this is when we can let things go like that, when we don't have to get involved, when we don't have to have our mind come and get involved in a situation, then the divine is the one that is in control. And when the divine is the one that's in control, well, every good and wonderful thing is going to happen, right? Good and wonderful things happen, just like how your arm heals up without any help from you. It's a good and wonderful thing that has happened without any help from you. All you needed to do was stay out of the way, keeping your mind out of the way, keeping your beliefs out of the way, and you heal perfectly. So what percent, at what time throughout the day do you take that first dip in your energy, that you go from the 100% to the, oh, I'm not at 100% anymore? It's noticeable. It will be noticeable. Now that I'm speaking about this, you're going to notice it. So what do we want to do about this? First of all, awareness is the biggest thing, right? We need to be aware of what it is that we're doing to ourselves, because if we're not aware, then there's absolutely nothing that we're going to do to change it, because we don't even know that we need to change it, right? So, okay, think about your day. You wake up, and what is the thought? What subject are we on here when you get that dip? in your consciousness when you get that dip? What is the thought? Is it about somebody else? Is it about yourself? Is it about your work? What is it? Now, all you need to do is become aware of what it is. Become aware of what it is, and then you can change it. I know you might say, well, I can't change this particular circumstance, because I work at this place and I got to go here and I got to do this, or, I have to interact with this person all the time, or whatever it happens to be. I have to tell you, it is only your mental state that is causing the pain, the suffering, the lowering of energy and vitality. And it is your belief, the underlying belief, that causes these thoughts, these mental states. It's all based on your beliefs about your reality that dictate this. So let's say that you have somebody at work that you're dealing with, just an example, and they're really difficult, and they cause you a lot of grief, and they cause you a lot of problems, and you're like, dreading and stressing, like, oh, I don't want to have to work with this person. Okay, or in another facet, let's say that you have somebody in your, just in your life or in your circle or in your whatever, somebody that you or interact with regularly or run into, same thing, that you're like, oh, I don't want to have to deal with this person or the situation. Like, I don't like this. Okay. As soon as we say something like, I don't like, I don't want, I hope this doesn't happen, as soon as we say that, we have put up resistance. We've stopped something, right? Mentally, we have put up resistance. And so what happens when we put resistance up is we have stopped the flow. You could even imagine this as, you're going down the river, you see a bend coming up and you're like, oh, I don't want to go around that bend. I don't know what's there. And so you start swimming upriver or attempting to go upriver. You're putting resistance. And so then it becomes very difficult, and you start to move very slowly compared to what you were before. It feels as if you're maybe even stuck. Maybe you even get stuck. Maybe you even get hung up for quite some time. And you're like, oh, I'm just going to go over here and hold on to this branch or onto this rock because I don't want to go down that stream. I don't know what's around the corner, As soon as we've done this, we can do this through worry. We can do this through all sorts of low vibrational frequencies, all of them. And as soon as we do this, as soon as we put up that resistance, this flow that was going to take us down the river safely, by the way, and there's new and wonderful, exciting things around these river bends, and you do not know that around the corner is not the most beautiful, wonderful, amazing experience that you've ever had in your life. But when you put up resistance and it's taking you years to get around this corner that you were supposed to get around the corner just like that, get to this place, you've stopped it from happening. Now, maybe you're listening and you're thinking, yeah, but there's certain things I don't like, there's certain things I don't want, there's blah, 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 blah. These are all beliefs, and they are because of certain experiences that you had in the past. And so you're allowing your past to dictate your present. You're saying, well, I don't want this because of this. Well, the only reason that you have a because is because of your past experiences. And when you expect them to repeat again, this is a belief, they will repeat. And if you expect to have a different experience in the future, meaning you've changed your belief, you will have a different experience in the future. It is all based on belief. Now we think, our brain is like, okay, good. We learned this lesson here before. We don't want to interact with people who are like this because this is the result of it. So in the future, you meet somebody and you see someone, they remind you of somebody else, and you just immediately set up a barrier. You immediately set up resistance and a wall because you think, well, this person is similar to that person. I've seen this before. I don't want anything to do with that. And you put up resistance and you stop the flow of divine love, divine life from flowing into your life because you're basing it on the past. Now, here's the thing about it. You're correct. When you expect your tomorrows to be the same as your yesterdays, they will be. And when you expect that, the same thing's going to happen tomorrow and then again and again and again and again and so on, and nothing ever changes, you're correct. because these are all just beliefs. And all that we are witnessing, all that you are seeing in your life, it is the only thing that you are seeing is belief. It is just belief. That's all that you're witnessing. What you believe is there. So you could meet somebody. Here's a good example. You meet somebody, they remind you of somebody else, and so you believe, this person is going to be like this other person that I know. You know what I mean? You have this belief. And so what happens? Your mind starts to make things up. It just makes things up. It starts to dictate, well, this person's probably going to do this. The person's probably going to do that, because you are all basing it off of previous experiences. And so your mind, that busy little bee that it is, likes to fill in the blanks, and it never wants to be wrong. So it will prove you right, even if you aren't. So the classic example, I've given this to you guys before, is if you believe, that people don't like you. Well, you might see a group of people all standing together, and one of the people from the group looks over and they just, see you, and then they look back and they're still talking in the group. What would the assumption be? Well, if you believe people don't like you, your assumption is more than likely going to be that now they're talking about you, and obviously not saying wonderful things. This is all based on your belief, not reality. Now, let's say that you are super confident and you just really believe in yourself, and you see a group of people and they're standing around talking, and one of them looks over at you. Your assumption about what they're doing and saying is going to be completely different than if you had low self-esteem and you believe that these people are talking about you. Well, if you believe that people like you, then you might even be like, oh, maybe they want me to go over there and say hi. You are going to perceive the exact same situation completely different, all based on your beliefs. Now, here's the thing of it. If you had that low self-esteem and you think people don't like you, this is now cemented in, right? You saw this interaction, you assume that you're right, that they were then talking about you, and it is now cemented your belief even further. See, I knew people didn't like me. Meanwhile, they were talking about, going for coffee later. They just happened to look over at you, had nothing to do with you. But all of these assumptions based on the underlying beliefs are what become present, and they're actually what you experienced, even though that wasn't reality. But the reality that you experience is only based off of your beliefs. So the person that is standing next to you that has a different belief is going to have a completely different reaction and experience to the same, perceivably the same experiences as you, the same situations as you, based on their beliefs. Now you might say, yes, but this does happen to me. And I'm telling you, the reason why these things do happen to you is because of your beliefs. That's it. That's the only reason why they happen to you. So wouldn't it be beneficial to change your underlying beliefs? Yes. But is this a difficult thing to do? It can be if you don't heal it. So this is where my IFF program comes in. It's called the Inner Freedom Formula. So what we do is, first of all, we deal with the emotions. So we deal with our vibe, our frequency. And anything that is not in alignment with the divine, meaning in alignment with love, we get rid of it. We don't need it. We don't want it. It helped us in the past. We don't need that anymore. We don't need to carry that same information forward and expect the same thing to happen tomorrow as what happened yesterday, because that's what's going to happen if we do that. If we're walking around carrying resentment, or we're walking around carrying guilt, I want you to think about how low vibe those are, right? Think about guilt. Oh, it's heavy. It weighs in your energy. It actually weighs you down. It's actually heavy. It weighs you down. And you don't need to be carrying this in your energetic system, because when you do carry it, there's no way for you to get into alignment with the divine. You can't be a low frequency, a being that's emitting these low vibes that are not divine vibes, and expect yourself to be in alignment with the divine. It's not possible. So clearing out this mental clutter, so dealing with the emotional trauma of our life, and we all have it. You are not the exception. You're not. That thing that happened to you, or that thing that you did that you think is unforgivable, everybody been there, done that. They got their own thing, and guess what? Nobody talks about it. Nobody says, hey, I did this thing and I don't think it's forgivable, or hey, this horrible thing happened to me, and it happened to me 47 years ago and I still haven't got over it. Why? Because our traumas stay inside of our body, and then we base our reality off of them. And they dictate our vibes. They create low frequencies in our body when we carry this past trauma. And when we carry it, subconsciously, we are expecting it to happen again. This is why, let's say you had a really mean mom, or a really mean dad. Okay, you get into a relationship in the future. What happens, more than likely, if you didn't heal this, them not treating you, not loving you properly, if you didn't heal that, well, you're going to get into a relationship that is going to mirror this again for you here in the future. So you start dating a woman, and she just starts being really horrible and really mean to you. Just like mom used to do. Just like mom didn't love me properly. Just like mom didn't care for me properly. Now I have a new partner here in my life who is treating me this way. Or, dad was really abusive and he was really mean, and so you start dating this man, and then this man, he can be really nice, and then all of a sudden, he can be this really cruel, abusive, mean man, just like dad used to be. We repeat these patterns until we heal them. So then you realize one day, I better break up with this person, or they break up with you, or whatever happens. And then what happens? You do it again, and then you do it again. And then you end up with all these people who don't treat you properly because you expect it, because you believe that you deserve that. You believe that you're not valuable. You believe that you're not worthy. You believe that you deserve ill treatment. Why? Because it's happened to you in the past. And it creates all kinds of internal beliefs, all kinds of expectations that are attached to these beliefs, and then they play out in the visible reality of your world. Meanwhile, the only reason this is happening is because of the beliefs that were caused from the trauma that were not healed. It's the only reason why that happens. Now, let's say that you do heal this. Well, it's going to happen. You had a horrible mom, you had a horrible dad, somebody didn't love you properly, didn't love you good, and you recognize this, and you're mature, and you heal this, and you realize, they were kids themselves. They didn't know what they were doing. I learned all of this from it. I had to go through that because of it, and blah, blah, blah. But when you take it and you realize the lessons, and you hear what you learned, and you forgive, and you don't have resentment towards them anymore, well, what happens? You've set yourself free. And the relationships that you then have in the future are not going to play out that same old storyline anymore. That it's going to be completely different because you have healed it. And you know your value and you know your worth. So you're not going to let that happen anymore. You're going to be aware. But the only reason why this won't repeat itself then again in the future is because you changed your beliefs. Right? Because if your parents were mean to you, you very possibly, I'm just going with, what most of my clients have experienced if they were abused or if they had mean parents, their belief in themselves, of their own worth and their own value and their own, believing that they're even lovable can be really, really low. And so when you believe this is a belief system that you have that I'm not valuable. You're going to have people come into your life that are going to prove to you that you are not valuable. They're going to prove it to you. They're going to treat you horribly. They're going to take you for granted. They're not going to care about you properly. And you're going to be like, yeah, see, I knew I wasn't valuable. I knew I wasn't worthy. When that's not the truth, you are so valuable and you are so worthy. All that you are seeing is your beliefs playing out in your life. This is all that you witness all day long, every day, all day long. So if you're dealing with somebody at work and then this person is difficult to deal with, you need to change your beliefs. I'm telling you. You need to change your beliefs. Or you need to get the heck out of there. So let me give you an example of that. When I was working with a client who had a difficult person that they would just run into once in a while in town. Difficult person. Every time that they would run into them, this person is, just being mean to them, just a nasty, mean person to them. So we have a session. They're telling me about this is really bothering them. These people, they're not friends, they're not acquaintances, they're just somebody that happens to run into each other, business owners in town. So I say, okay, let's do this. So we do a telepathy little thing. So I have this person, show this other person what it is that they're doing to them, how it is that they're making them feel, blah, 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 and work with this person. So my client then comes back a week later and they go, oh, it was amazing. I ran into that person and they were nice to me. They actually talked to me and they actually talked to me nicely and blah, blah, blah. This has never happened before. Okay, well, two things happened here. First of all, telepathy is real. So this person, at a subconscious level, received that message and became aware at a subconscious level of what it was that they were doing to this other person. So, maybe this was never their intent to be mean. Maybe they were just coming across a certain way, but they became aware during that session. I'm telling you, 1,000,000% telepathy is real. What else happened in this session? Was after this, interaction where this person is showing this other person what to expect or what they did, then the expectation is changed afterwards. Well, this person has seen now, they didn't realize that that was the effect that they were having, and they want to do better. So now my client is expecting, they have changed their belief and they are expecting this person now to be better to them. And what happened? They were better to them because they changed their belief. Now, when we expect people to act in a certain way, and they don't, let's say that they shock us, let's say that we are just flabbergasted that somebody, could do this particular thing to us. Well, here's the deal. We're the creators. So we either created this through a subconscious expectation, or this is now our karma being returned back to us because we ourselves did something similar in the past and it has now come back to get us through electromagnetism. You cannot escape it. It's the law of cause and effect. It's a real thing. Our thoughts, our energy, they're electrical. And when you send out an electrical charge at a certain frequency, it is returned back at that exact same frequency. And so what we're sending out, we're getting back. So maybe there was some type of subconscious expectations. Maybe this is something that you had done to somebody else in the past. Maybe this was a fear that you had that would happen that has now come back to you. But everything that happens to us in our life is based off of our beliefs. So this week I wrote down on a piece of paper, I received multiple offers this week. I wrote it down. I think I probably wrote it down on, last Friday, Saturday, something like that. I received multiple offers this week. That's it. Well, what happened this week? I got two offers, two separate people, things that are exactly in alignment with me. They're exactly things that I want. And these have come to me. Why? Because I believed in it. And because I wanted it. And I had no doubt that the divine delivers. The divine gives me every good and wonderful thing that I want. If I think of it and I want it, the divine gives it to me. And why? Because I believe it, and because I expect it, and because I know that the divine is only love. And so I expect that good and loving and wonderful things come to me from the divine, and so they do. So if you want to change what's happening in your life, let's say that you're like, yeah, but I'm paycheck to paycheck. I wake up and I do this, and all I got to do is go to work and make this and do that, and how can I change my life? I feel stuck. Well, you feel stuck because you don't know how much the divine loves you. And when you expect tomorrow to be the same as today, it will be. You don't know that some amazing and wonderful, life-changing news could come to you tomorrow. But what happens when you expect tomorrow to be the same as today is you're not going to get that life-changing, wonderful news, because you are believing that it's not coming. Why do you believe this? Because it hasn't come yet. Why hasn't it come yet? Because you don't believe that it's going to come. This is why. It is all based on your beliefs. Now, I know that it is difficult to change your beliefs when your reality is telling you one thing. Your reality is saying, no, this is how it is. We wake up, we go to work, we come home, we get a check every however often, we pay our bills, the money's gone, and then we do it again. If that's what your reality is telling you, because that's what's currently happening, you have to change the beliefs, and you have to change the emotions that are there behind it. I know I've told you guys this before, but if one day when I needed, this is 20 some years ago, when I needed rent money, and I prayed for it, and I said I need it, and I need it by the end of today, and I got it down to the dollar, down to the exact dollar that I needed, but I didn't get it through working. I got it from the divine. I was at work, but a man came up to me who was not in my section. I was working in a restaurant waitressing. He came up to me and handed me money and said, God told me to come here and give you this today. He wasn't even in my section. I didn't work for him. I didn't do anything for this man. And he came out of his house with some money, brought it to me at my work. Why? Because God told him to do it. Why? Because I asked God for something. And so God goes, okay, here you go. There you go. Why did that happen for me? Because I believed it would. I didn't have any doubt in my mind at all. If I pray for something, of course it is going to happen. Of course it is going to happen. Why? Because I know the divine is only love. And I know that all we need to do is ask with faith, with 100% belief, with zero doubt, and it is as good as ours. So my point in that is I didn't have to work for that money that I needed. So if you have something in your life and you're like, yeah, but I'm only, making this much however often, and I can't take that vacation, I can't do this, I can't do that. You know what? I have gifted vacations to people before. People do this kind of thing. How do you know that vacation that you want so bad, you're going to have to pay for? You don't know that. You don't know that some wonderful stranger is just going to come up to you and gift you something. You don't know that you're not going to win it at some raffle that you forgot that you even put your name in. Maybe you didn't even put your name in, but yet somehow you happen to win this thing. You don't know that, but you negate it. You make sure that it's not going to happen. When you expect that it's not going to happen, and when you speak out loud and use your words and say good things don't happen to me, and when you say things like I can't afford it or that's too expensive, when those words come out of your mouth, it's true. It becomes the truth. Watch your mouth. Watch your words. The words that you're speaking, when you're about to speak them or you've spoken them, maybe you'll catch yourself after. This is a work like this takes time to get real good at this. To be like, oop, I shouldn't have said that. When you are speaking your words, whether it is presently true or not, be very, very careful with your words. Do you want to not afford things? Because then say, oh, I can't afford it. Do you want things to be too expensive? Then say, ooh, that's too expensive. Do you want to have lots of money? Then don't say, I don't have the money. Don't let those words come out of your mouth, because they carry with them a vibration that is attached to your belief. And you can change it. You can change it. You change that belief, you change your life. So rather than, I can't afford it, change it to, the divine wants every good and wonderful thing for me. And because the divine wants every good and wonderful thing for me, every good and wonderful thing comes to me. I get free things all the time. People are so generous with me. People are always kind to me. I make the right amount of money, and if ever I need more, I just happen to have more. I never lack anything. I never have to go without. Start speaking in this way, and start believing in this way. And when your reality is taking time to catch up, because it'll take a little bit of time to catch up, it might take a year to catch up. It might take some time. But in that meantime, I want you to think about how that felt. When I just said those words to you, that felt real nice, didn't it? That felt real good. That felt very uplifting. That's because that was high frequency words that were being spoken. Those were high vibrational words that were being spoken. Those are words that are in alignment with the divine and with what the divine wants for you. That's why that felt so nice to listen to it. Now, the opposite of it, which is whatever, had been said before of, I can't afford it, it's too expensive, all the blah, blah, blah. Think about how that feels in your energetic system. What kind of low frequency is that emitting? And you are going to get what you are. So if you are emitting those low vibes through your words, through your beliefs, you are going to get those low vibe things coming into your house, your into your life. Your vibrations can't lie. Your vibrations can't lie. So you need to change those vibrations and uplift them, because once you've healed this trauma, this past trauma, and you've truly healed it, you physically can feel immediately. You physically can feel lighter in your energetic system. You feel lighter. And when you're lighter, that means that you're actually composed of more light. And that light is love. And that love is divine. And those heavy energies, they are not divine. But they are there to serve a purpose. And I have to say, suffering currently at this time in the world, just currently, serves a purpose. So if you were going through something extremely difficult, what you can do about it right now is heal and change the vibration. Get rid of those low frequency vibrations and see this as a gift. My biggest suffering in my life has been my biggest gift. It can be yours too, but only when you learn from it. Only when you use it as the opportunity to see, oh man, what did I do? What did I do in the past? What was I thinking? What was I believing? And we do have karma that comes to us. We have karma from past lives that we didn't, just like I said, you change your beliefs today, and maybe it's going to take a year to catch up with you. Karma can take some time too. So if you didn't get to experience some karma, good or bad, in a previous life, you are going to have to deal with it in this life as well. It'll happen in the first 30 years of this life. But then it's done. And then whatever karma you're dealing with after the fact, after that, has been of your own making. And it comes to you through your beliefs. And if you were to really examine your beliefs, so this is the thing, You might think, no, 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 that doesn't pertain to me because I didn't want this to happen and I didn't expect this to happen and I wasn't putting out this and I wasn't doing that. Well, you know what? If you actually did a subconscious session and you actually went in subconsciously, you could find why and how these things have happened to you. But consciously, our conscious mind is not that intelligent. It just isn't. It doesn't have all the information, whereas your subconscious mind has every bit of information that you could ever need or want or hope to have, including information about in-between lives, past lives, all of it. It knows everything about you. That intelligent mind is the one that holds on to these beliefs and these expectations and these experiences and these traumas from the past, and it stores them in there. It's like a filing cabinet, and it just stores it. And if something similar comes up in the future, like somebody insulted you, they were wearing a red shirt, now you see somebody with a red shirt, well, your mind is going to go, hey, pay attention. Red shirt's coming. Prepare yourself. And it thinks it's doing you a favor, right? It's trying to protect you. It's trying to keep you safe. But what really happens is we end up repeating things over and over again, re-traumatizing ourselves every time we see the red shirt coming towards us. So when we change these beliefs, which is what we do in that Inner Freedom Formula package that I sell, we change the emotions first, we heal the trauma, and then we change the beliefs. Because and I work with numbers here, I'm all numbers. So let's say you figure out right now on a scale of 1 to 10, how worthy and deserving do you feel? 10 is so worthy and so deserving, and 1 is not at all. Where are you at on that scale? Okay, let's say you're at a 7. Maybe you're at a 3. I don't know. Let's say that you're at a 7 though. Okay, so you are going to have, if you're at a 7, things come into your life that are equal to that 7. So you're going to have things that make you feel, let's say, 70% worthy. Okay, now if your number was at a 3, well, you're going to have things that make you feel about 30% worthy. And the experiences that come into your reality are going to show you that and are going to prove you that and are going to be in alignment with that. Every time. So when we change this, when we heal this, which is what we do, when we're doing subconscious work, and we change that and we move it up to a 10, well, pretty soon the experiences that come into your life prove that to you. They prove to you your beliefs. And so when you believe that you're worthy, all of a sudden, well, you're going to have totally different experiences than you did when you were back at 70% or 30%. It's going to change things for you because you've changed your belief. You've changed your frequency. And the universe goes, okay, and just start sending you things that are at the same frequency as what you are emitting. So if you are living a life and you feel like you are abundant and prosperous, let's say that you feel like you are free with your money, that you could go and you could do anything that you want, and you hold that feeling in your system, the universe responds and goes, oh, here you go. And it just gives you that belief. It gives you that. It gives it to you. So you believe you're worthy. All of a sudden, everybody and their dog wants to pay you for something. Everybody's just coming out of the woodwork to give you money. Why? Because of your belief, because you change your belief. It's really that simple, but it's that complicated altogether, right? If I just tell you, hey, but change your belief about that today, are you going to be able to do it? It's going to be kind of tricky, isn't it? You need to do the subconscious healing of why is it like this in the first place? Why do I feel unworthy? Okay, first of all, we need to heal that trauma because you were born feeling 100% worthy, and then something happened that changed that along the way. So we need to heal that trauma that's there, the reason why the belief is there, and then once we heal that trauma, then we can change the belief. And then when we change the belief, all of a sudden everything just starts to feel completely different. and your reality visibly changes. The actual matter, the visible matter that you're seeing in your life changes. So I've been going on here. We're coming up on 40 minutes here. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in here today. I don't even remember what we started talking about, but I super appreciate all of you being here listening. Thank you for this. I'm going to have some retreats coming up here over the next year, some really, really awesome ones. So I will keep you guys posted on that. Anyways, everyone take care. Love you all so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow.